The convergence of our voices is the song of our beauty. Many voices will speak here, the song woven through diverse notes. Hello, everyone, and a big welcome to Cheryle, Chagnon, Greyeyes. So I managed to get that right. So Cheryle, can you please tell me about yourself? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I would describe myself as a Nehiyaw Esquao, which is a Cree woman. Identify as a Cree woman. My reserve is Muskeg Lake Cree Nation, which is in Treaty 6 in Saskatchewan. It's about midpoint between Prince Albert and Saskatoon. However, I myself have a military influence background. I was born in Germany.
Hmm.
So I'm an honest to goodness German Indigenous person. And they go
Yes.
crazy for things in Germany that's Indigenous. Thank you, Carl May. He was a writer that wrote these uh, serial novels aimed at teenagers at the turn of the previous century and inspired some people like Adolf Hitler. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. They had this stylized idea of the noble savage, but they were really into it. So now my sister was actually in the military and she was stationed in Germany, in Europe. And she said she almost had whiplash on the Autobahn because there were teepees sticking up above the stone fences.
Wow.
Teepees and sure enough, they have their own powwows and do their own thing there. So they're very big supporters of Indigenous people, and they will come over to Canada and the United States to participate in a ceremony here. And yeah, so it's a big deal. And I've rediscovered my roots as an Indigenous person, and it's helped me to heal on many levels. And
Yeah.
what I get to do now is what Creator tells me to do.
Mm.
I be careful what you pray for.
Yes, indeed.
and
Yeah, yeah.
but I love what I do now. I was in the military myself for 5 years and I got my corporal stripes and got out. So
Yes.
and there's life in between all of those bits and pieces, and now I'm officially retired. That's such a misnomer. I'm
Yeah.
working more now than I think as far as putting in hours. Yeah, because I work evenings and weekends now
Yes.
doing what I do, which is sharing Indigenous teachings.
Oh, that's lovely. So I just want to go back to your military. Did you join because of family history? Is that part of the draw for you?
It was very much so.
Mm.
My father, as I said, was in the military. My mother was a residential school survivor, and she married my dad. And he was stationed in Europe, and she loved being in Europe because she spoke very fluent French,
Mm.
having been influenced by French nuns at the residential school. So, but her dad was also in the military, as were his brothers and his sister. Mary Reed Greyeyes, and very distinguished military careers from the people from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation.
Mm.
So there's a lot of pride there.
Yes.
And I know at the time when my grandfather had been in, um, they didn't, Indigenous people didn't even have the vote, but yet
Mm.
they would volunteer. They had to volunteer. They couldn't be recruited. They volunteered to serve, and some
Wow.
never came back. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a proud military bearing, and for me, it was actually started out as a part-time job. I was 17, and you could join the military as a reservist, so I started doing that, and then I ended up staying in for a good 5 years.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I got to travel around Canada. I didn't get a chance to go to Europe,
Mm.
but I did get to travel around Canada, which I enjoyed and achieved and it was the Air Force, so I got to fly, which I enjoyed
Oh,
immensely.
lovely. Yes. And now you are sharing Indigenous teachings.
I really love what I do. I really love
Hmm.
what I do. I uh, sort of stumbled into who I was by asking questions I hadn't asked before.
Yeah.
When I was in university, I had been in university in the 90s, and
Hmm.
and I had BA in communications, got my first degree, but I was in university housing, so I thought, well, I'll take another degree, and I did, and it was in Canadian Indigenous Native Studies at the time, and it changed the direction of my life. And I always thank Creator because it put me on what we call the red road of Indigenous
Yes.
spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah, walking on the earth in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it opened up my heart and helped me overcome my own issues, my depression, my addictions, my to go through my own healing. And healing's a journey. It
Yeah,
is
it is.
not a
Yes.
destination. It's a journey. So I'm still on
It,
that journey.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love to be able to help people on that journey by
Hmm.
sharing insight. I can only share what I know,
Yeah.
and I'm very blessed because I love to sing and I drum, and
Oh.
I find that that adds a very spiritual layer to the teachings that I share,
Hmm.
because people can feel it in their heart and throughout their body, the vibrations.
Yes, I see you're wearing a depiction of the medicine wheel
Oh
on your shirt.
yes, yes, I teach medicine wheel teachings. I receive teachings from Kakakwe and Associates, who are based in Regina.
Mm.
Now I was thinking about it. I'm going, oh my goodness, that's like 26 years ago. Yeah, it was, yeah, 2000. And I was a student at the time, but I was volunteering at the Native Center on campus. And
Yeah.
I was able to get levels one and levels two of the medicine wheel teachings. And since then, I have been able to glean additional teachings from elders and ceremonialists and traditional knowledge keepers on my journey.
Mm.
And I love what I share, and I share with seniors residences. I go into seniors homes, like, and share with the people there. I was actually the last few weeks. I was at the Brenda Straffer Foundation. They have 5 seniors residences, including
Ah,
one in Okotoks. And so I was there doing an hour-long session on medicine wheel teachings, and they love it. They love it. They
yeah.
like it, knowing the stuff and hearing the singing and the drumming, and I make them sing and drum along with me.
Yes.
And it's fun, and I do it with little teeny kids and the schools, the community halls, community associations, and I love what I do, and I get to share the culture when I'm asked.
Hmm.
I do
Hmm.
openings, traditional acknowledgement of Treaty 7 territory, and then I do a prayer song, which is a traditional pre-prayer song.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they ask for an elder to do that. And I am Cree, but I always acknowledge that I'm a visitor to Treaty 7. So it's
Uh-huh.
about staying humble and always defer if there's a Treaty 7 elder. But
Yes.
sometimes they're stuck and they need somebody like right now. And I'm very good for showing up. I have my own car. I'm good.
So Treaty 7 encompasses where in
It is basically south of Red Deer all the way to the border. And that is, and then the nations that are there are the Blackfoot nations, and that's the 3 members of the 4-member Blackfoot Confederacy there in Canada, Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani. It also includes the Stoney Nakoda Nations, which is Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations, and Dene, Tsuut'ina, First Nation, which I sometimes refer to because I go there a lot as the nation of Costco. I
Mm.
go there a lot.
Yes.
I do. I like going out there a lot, and
Yeah.
and I shop at the Tatina Museum quite a bit because you can get some lovely things there: ribbon shirts, ribbon skirts, jewelry. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
yeah.
spend too much money out there, and it's also home to districts 5 and 6 here in Calgary of the Métis Nation of Alberta. So we have a number of connections to the Indigenous people.
Yeah, yeah. And because I'm really interested in storytelling, I'd like to hear about your life as a storyteller.
It's been ingrained ever since you hear the grandmothers and grandfathers sitting around the table telling stories, and they
Hmm.
keep on telling the same stories, and so stories were the way of sharing love,
Yeah.
memories, laughter. And I always was quite intrigued because the first person who ever passed away in my life was my grandmother, my Kokum. And we had a wake for her. And I'd never been exposed to this. And I couldn't understand how people, she was lying in state in the living room, and people are sitting around her and they're laughing and telling jokes and telling stories, and I'm going, I went to my mom and I said, why isn't everybody so sad and crying? And she goes, well, grandma wouldn't want that. She'd
Mhm.
want everybody to be happy and remember happy memories.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went, oh, that's why they're telling stories. They're sharing stories about grandma.
Hmm.
And so that, oh, so you keep that person alive with those stories. So
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's about keeping ideas alive and concepts
Hmm.
alive and
Hmm.
spirit alive.
Yeah.
So storytelling is
So
very integral.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. And do you tell stories outside of the community?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. I do some traveling.
Mm.
The last Truth and Reconciliation Day, 30th
Mm.
of September, I actually traveled south. I went to High River, went to the High River Library, and gave them medicine wheel teachings, the PowerPoint presentation with music and drum. And then in the evening, I was invited for supper, bannock and stew. If you feed me, I will show up at the Nanton Community Hall, Community League. And they actually had an elder by the name of Clifford who put up a teepee. He was Cree. He put up a teepee so I could tell stories in the teepee. And the
Oh.
teepee was full. There was actually overload. We had room
Yeah.
in there for about 30 people. We still had another 10 people outside. And it was
Mm.
a beautiful, beautiful evening, September evening. And it was really special. So I do travel where I'm asked, and I like to keep my commitments when I make them.
Yeah. Yeah. So your stories do you tell some of the traditional stories?
I started doing that more often because at the very beginning when I was storytelling, because I thought you had to memorize them. And then I realized there's other ways you can tell stories.
Mm.
And something else that I do is I'm involved as an actress. I think I showed you
Ah.
some pictures. And my group of ladies that I'm with, we call ourselves the Rolling Crones.
Ah.
It was a name I know you would appreciate, Gail.
Yes, indeed.
And we're a wild bunch of gray-haired, white-haired activists, and we've been marching and drumming and singing and raising heck for a few couple of decades now.
Yeah.
And the two of these ladies, I think you should have them on your podcast.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Carolyn Pogue and Loretta Basutti. The two of them scripted a play a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, called Patriarchy on Trial.
Ah.
And so we had four showings the first year, three showings last year.
Yeah.
And then this year, Carolyn and Loretta were inspired to do another play. And it was called The Cock and the Girl Who Forgot, a Cautionary Tale.
Ah.
And we did it over 3 nights, and we had more people, and we were only taking donations for the Unitarians who had given us a space at no charge.
Yeah.
And we raised over $2,000
Wow.
over three
Wow.
nights in a
Oh,
church.
yeah.
And it was so much fun, and
Yeah.
I love being crazy. It was I got to, people didn't recognize me, which was the most delicious thing, Gail.
Yeah.
You come out with makeup and a wig, and they don't know who you are. It is so yummy. Oh, it was so much
Oh,
fun.
yes.
And yes, it was great fun acting with these beautiful ladies, these wonderful ladies. And we have crones in waiting who are
Yes.
younger women who have expressed interest. So yeah, yeah, we show up. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Mhm. And at one point, you were leader of the Alberta Green Party. When was that?
There is a story there.
Ah.
Be careful what you pray for. I decided I was going to retire from the university in July. And I prayed and I smudged and I asked Creator, Creator, let me be a conduit of your love. And then 2 weeks after I'd made that decision to retire at the end of January, I was approached by a friend of mine, Susan, who was with the Alberta Green Party. And I've done work with the Alberta Green Party. My daughter and I would always have a bannock breakfast, stampede breakfast for Elizabeth May when she would come to town. And we'd been doing that for years. We were both Green Party supporters. And then Susan came to me and she said, um, why don't you throw your name in as a leader for the Green Party? And I go, yeah, right. But what? She goes, seriously. I said, and then I don't know what made me ask. And I said, what, who else is running? And she looked very disappointed and she said, two white guys. Laughed and I said, oh, sure, I'll throw my name in and give it a little bit of spice. Yeah, be careful what you pray for. I won by 72% of the vote.
Mm.
And my little grandson, he said, Kokum, Kokum, that's grandmother. He said, Kokum, I Googled you and you're in Wikipedia. I was the first Indigenous woman in Canada to lead a recognized political party.
Ah, yeah,
So I was there for a year. I did what I could. I had
yeah.
to, they were kind of a split party. So I kind of brought the pieces together and I learned more in a year of being a leader than I did in 4 years of political science at the university. And I like to say I'm cured of politics now.
Ah, yes, yes. So what are the things that you did learn while you were there?
Well, I learned I was very naive, and and for me, I call it tuition because it was a learning for me being
Mm,
that. And anybody who has the guts to put their name in the hat, go for it. Go
yeah.
for it. My kids and my grandkids got to see me try.
Yes.
I put my money where my mouth was. So that
Yeah.
was good. And I did meet some incredible people on this journey that I'm still friends with.
Mm,
So when they're like-minded, like-hearted, we're on this same journey to save our beautiful planet, save our all of our relations on our planet, all of
yeah.
our all of our relatives here. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, you run into these people and you keep crossing paths. So it's a
Yeah.
blessing. It was a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah. Oh, so, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Well, um, I am a big supporter of senior activists, and I shared my story with a group called well, it was a 2025 edition of the Aging Well Chronicles. I'll just kind of show you this,
Ah,
and
okay.
yeah, and this is it's actually there's a website about it too, and this wonderful lady interviewed 10 seniors and had 8 videos because a couple of them were couples. And there's a video project that's kind of in it with it, and this um, print, this publication that was there.
Mhm.
And we ended up, when they did the release, we came together. So I got to meet all the other seniors that were in there. It was really nice. It was
Yeah.
really, really nice. And it made me realize I had not met most of these people at all. And we were in the same city.
Yeah.
But we're all, it shows all these disparate interests. So again, same made some wonderful connections, and I've actually been out to events with the Muslim people, with Thais. It's called the Immigrant Education Society. I've just was there last week teaching them medicine wheel teachings.
Mm.
I love that. And
Yeah.
so I've done work with the Hindu Society, with the um, Caribbean Afro Society. So I do all this work with other people, and I just love what I do. I love what I
Yeah.
do. Love
Yeah.
sharing and sharing it in a good way, so
Yeah.
that people. I feel like I'm a bridge. That's my job.
Mm.
That's my
Yeah.
responsibility.
And finding some commonalities, I would expect.
Very much so. And I encourage people when they pray, pray out loud, because
Uh,
we need that frequency, we need that vibration, and those ripples of energy just spread wide out. So
hmm
I share
hmm
a lot of that too, a lot of intention. I also go up to the hill, Nose Hill Park here in
Ah,
Calgary,
yes. Mm.
and I do teachings up at the Blackfoot Confederacy Medicine Wheel.
Ah,
For
and
James Walk.
there, yeah, there is a medicine wheel at Nose Hill, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was actually doing my Jane's Walk up there a month before the medicine wheel had actually been installed.
Ah.
I didn't know about it. No.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, but now I lead circles up there, drum circles up there. Every
Oh,
Jane's Walk. Jane's Walk is the first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in May, and they have them all across North America.
oh, I hadn't heard of them. So what is the story behind that?
Jane Jacobs was a city activist. You may have heard of a little place called Greenwich Village. We'll
Hmm.
need to thank Jane Jacobs for fighting the city of New York to keep it a neighborhood and won.
Ah.
Inspired city activists across US and Canada. And oh my goodness, this was like 30 years ago already now. So they do these walks, which are free, led by volunteers, open to the public. You just have to pre-register. There's cap.
Hmm.
And it's just, yeah, you just go for an hour or 2 hours and get to know your neighborhood or some history where you are or medicines along the trails. For me, I take people up and we do a drum circle and
Yeah.
make offerings at the medicine wheel with tobacco. I teach them that.
Hmm.
So different people have different things. So some are art walks, some are LGBTQ walks, some are feminist walks.
Yeah.
They're absolutely great. They had 43 last year
Wow.
in the
Wow.
city of Calgary.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
how do people register for these?
you just Google Jane's
Ah,
Walk,
yeah.
and the registrations start at the beginning of April. I think April 1st or 2nd.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
great.
it's one, and different towns have different ones too. So it's always good to check where you are
Yes.
at the moment for that weekend, especially.
Yes. Yeah. Ah, it's too bad I won't be in Calgary for that weekend. Oh well.
Well, you let me know when you are in Calgary, and if it's a lovely day, we can take you up to Nose Hill and we can make
Oh,
an
that would
offering.
be great.
I'd
Yes.
love to be able to do that with you, Gail.
Oh, good. I'll take you up on that for sure.
You bet. It's a beautiful view from up there. It's totally worth the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not too demanding. It's an old road, so
Yeah.
trees growing out of asphalt, so it's easier to get up the hill.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that brings our talk to an end here. And thank you very much for chatting. It's been great fun and I've learned all kinds of things.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad we had the opportunity to connect, and I'm grateful to Sean for connecting us. And keep up the good work. I
Yeah.
was checking out your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to support one another and get our women's voices out there.
We do, we do. That's the whole reason for this, to just uplift ourselves and find out about each other.
Exactly. And what I find is we find out we have far more in common than anything that separates us.
Yes, we do.
All right. Sending
Bye.
you lots of love. Thank you so much, Gail.
You're
Hugs,
very welcome. And
virtual
thank
hugs.
you.
I'm a drive-by hugger.
Like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to Crone Chronicles. Thank you.